All right, guys, so we got to react to a video that is going viral of 4 Chicago police officers who happen to be female struggling to arrest one man who was accused of shoplifting. Now, the reason why I want to react to this is because I think this is a great example of how our government, at the very least, spends our taxpayer dollars inefficiently. It's a good example of how, when you're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is something that all of corporate America and the government is doing to combat bigotry, you get results like this, where you have a standard that clearly is lower, or put it this way, not high enough for certain individuals, because again, we want everybody to be included. Now, here's the thing. Before I get into this video, I want to be clear in regards to the argument that I'm making in this video, because I don't want people to get it twisted. I am not saying that women should not be police officers or that they should not be in the military. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that if you're going to have women be police officers, and if they're going to be on the streets dealing with male suspects who, you know, just biologically speaking, have a strength advantage and probably a speed advantage too over women, if you're going to have them be, you know, in the Marines or infantry or, you know, on the front lines, then they better be able to perform to the same standards that we've set for men, because the people that they're dealing with, the criminals or the enemy on the battlefield, for the most part, they're going to be men, right? So those women better be able to perform in a way that will allow them to physically handle men, okay? Or when they get into physical confrontations with men in the line of duty. And this applies across the board, okay? If this video about to show you guys, if this was for men, I'll be saying the exact same thing, right? Like, clearly, from a physical perspective, they're not qualified to be police officers, because it, under no circumstances should it take 4 police officers to handle one suspect and the suspect still gets away, right? Which is what's going to happen right here in this video, in which, again, if this was all men, I would have the exact same criticisms. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this, and let me know what you guys think. So these are 4 Chicago police officers, and this guy in the middle is a suspected shoplifter. Now, they're trying to apprehend him, okay? Now, clearly he's, you know, resisting. He's probably saying, I ain't do nothing, right? I ain't do nothing, okay? You know what they say when they get caught, right? I didn't do nothing. So they're trying to get his arm behind his back, trying to arrest him.
Sam.
Oh, to Sam.
You get another vehicle over the system on the east side of northeast corner of 95th and Ashland.
2213, another car, 95 and Ashland, 4213.
Now, look at these women. 4 of them are
On
struggling.
the east side of the street by the liquor store, I see a couple cars. Can I get a couple more cars? All the 2s, 272, hello?
272 on the road.
They're struggling. They are struggling to arrest
22
him.
12 Adam.
12 Adam.
Hey, squad. So it's transport 1 male and for 22. Last 300 miles is 141 for 2221.
So again, it is taking
It
all
was
of
a positive
them
on the show up.
2 minutes.
Positive ID, squad.
0206. 213. All right, 95 and Ashland. Give me some more cars. Give me some more cars, 95 and Ashland. Give me some more cars.
Turn away. 2233.
33.
So he's got brakes out. Bam.
2233.
He's gone.
We got it. That's
He's
progress
gone.
of all
And I don't think that any of them are catching him.
rings.
They're
He
not
went
catching
all
him.
day running up down on the street from 95th Street.
Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. Okay. Again, like I said, if that was 4 male officers. The criticism is the same, right? I mean, at the end of the day, as a taxpayer, okay, now again, I'm not, a Chicago resident, so I guess I'm not paying taxes. But if I was a Chicago resident and I saw that, I would be pissed because all those women clearly are, they're on the street or whatever. And it took 4 of them. Okay, so you're talking about probably, let's say they're getting paid $60,000, $70,000 a year, right? So what you just saw there was about $240,000 to $300,000 worth of taxpayer money at work to try to arrest one criminal who was shoplifting. Now, this is a minor guy, okay? I mean, this was, he didn't look super strong. He didn't look super big, but he was male and they were female. And all 4 of them could not apprehend him, couldn't get him to the ground, couldn't arrest him, and he ended up getting away. Now, again, that brings up a lot of questions about standards, right? How in the world do you hire police officers, people who have to deal with, again, men on the street, okay, who don't even have the basic level of strength, all 4 of them, to take down one guy? Now, again, if that was 4 male police officers, the criticism would be the exact same. You should never see this, right? This is something that you should never see, okay? Because despite being outnumbered, the suspect was still able to get away. And again, I have my doubts about whether or not any of those female police officers could have caught him in a foot chase, okay? Now, if you would have 2 males, right, I think that maximum it would have took 2 of them to get that guy down. Ideally, it only takes 1. Okay, ideally, the average police officer should be able to manhandle the average person on the street. And I say that as well, too, just the average officer in general, if you take gender out of it, right? If you, have a female officer, she better be able to perform to the same standards as a man, right? Or to at least a certain level enough where it doesn't require 4 of them to apprehend one suspect. That video right there is an embarrassment to policing. It really does bring up a lot of questions about the use of taxpayer dollars and are we actually spending money efficiently when it comes to policing, right? And certain things that we do as a society. And best believe the criminals see this type of stuff, okay? They see that, oh, well, the police force is getting more diverse, right? They got more women in the police force, or put it this way, they have, people in the police force, okay, men, for example, that are a little overweight, right? They don't look like they're in shape. They don't look like they go to the gym. They don't look like they can run for a mile straight without being tired. When criminals see stuff like this, where you have standards being lowered, what do you think happens? They become more emboldened, right? They believe that, well, damn, even if I get caught, I can still get away, right? Because I can just manhandle the police officer. If they do get me and they do arrest me, I'm just going to be let out. I'm not going to be prosecuted. I'm going to get a slap on the wrist. Again, what do you think is the result of that? The result is, again, criminals are probably going to see this and get more emboldened and feel more confident when they commit crimes, right? That's the result here. That's the message that you're sending when you have stuff like this, right? And that's why this is such a shame, okay, to see something like this at all, right? And it really does, it should send a signal to the powers that be that, hey, we need to start upping our standards as a society, right? This law of standards is going to have terrible results across the board. Again, it's not just when it comes to policing or, things like that. Also, you talk about kids graduating school, right? We don't care if kids pass tests. We don't care if they actually really know the material. We don't care if they can read, write, do math. We don't care if they have basic life skills, or we don't care about any of that stuff. All we care about is, well, the right faces, okay, in terms of, skin color or, sexuality or gender are in the right places, right? We want them in the right places. We want to make sure they're represented. And again, in my opinion, I think that comes with a cost, right? And that video right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I think that females can be police officers as long as they can meet the standards that are needed in order to be a police officer and to be able to manhandle the average criminal on the street, because most criminals that commit crimes are going to be men, right? And women need to be able to physically handle them, right? And, you know, that way, I feel like that's a more efficient use of taxpayer dollars. But that video right there that we just saw, I think that says a lot, right? It says a lot about, again, a lot of subjects that we talk about here quite a bit on this channel. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.